Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, March the 13th, and we're here to look at news published this week. And on Thursdays, we look at fantasy and science fiction. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight. They are at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. So 3 days a week, 10 hours a week for you to work on your TBR or other projects. All right, we are here to look at fantasy and science fiction. Okay. Oops. Blood Beneath the Snow by Alexandra Kennington. First in the Blood and Souls duology. Revna is no stranger to struggle. As the only member of the royal family without a magical ability, she is seen as an embarrassing mistake by her kingdom and a blight on her bloodline. Luckily, Revna has found family and other outcasts in her kingdom, but when her two closest friends' lives are put in danger, she's determined to save them by any means necessary, no matter the cost. The Bloodshed Trials, a competition where the last sibling in the royal family standing takes the throne, might just be the ultimate price. Revna turns down her arranged marriage. God, how many tropes are in this? And commits to competing for the throne only to be kidnapped by the mysterious and terrifyingly powerful Hellbringer, the general of her country's greatest enemy. He has the ability to rend souls the flick of his wrist and is every inch as intimidating as the war stories say he is. But Revna wonders if there may be some humanity left in him, especially when he reveals there are other parties who want her on the throne for their own secret reasons. Let's pack all the tropes in there. Idlefire by Grace Curtis. Two strangers, one epic journey. On one side of the world, Alea Anauliae is desperate for a chance. Her family have written her off as a mistake, but she's determined to prove every last one of them wrong. On the other, Kirby of Wall's End is searching for redemption. An ancient curse tore her life apart, but to fix it, she'll have to leave everything behind. Fate sets them both on the path to Novella, a city once poised to conquer the world with the power of 1,000 stolen gods. Now the gates are closed, and even 100 would be fine. And old magic slumbers, dead or waiting for a spark to light it anew. They are calling this science fantasy. Just pick one. It's not science fiction. Trust me, that's fantasy. Ooh. I have issues with publishers, I guess. Good morning, Mary. Happy Thursday. Had to think about what day. I know, it feels like the slowest week ever. But okay with the CPA. Oh, good. With it, glad to have it done and don't owe too much. Thank goodness. Well, that's fantastic. Did you reward yourself afterward? The Tomb of Dragons by Catherine Addison. Fourth in this series, looks like. There's a blurb here saying this trilogy is as close to perfect as books can get. And then it says that there's 4 books in this series. Thara Salahar has lost his ability to speak with the dead. That's a good thing. When that title of witness for the dead is gone, what defines him? While his title may be gone, his duties are not. Salahar contends with a municipal cemetery with 50 years of secrets, the damage of Revathavar he's terrified to remember, and a group of miners who are more than willing to trade Selahar's life for a chance at what they feel they're old. Selahar does not have to face these impossible tasks alone. Joining him are his mentee, Velhiro Thomasaran, still finding her footing with the investigative nature of their job, Ayana Pelthenior, his beloved opera director friend and avid supporter, Honora Chanavar, his stalwart friend and fellow prelate of Euless, and the valiant guard Captain Hanu Algaz. Why do we need to know their last names? Amidst the backdrop of a murder and a brewing political uprising, Salahar must seek justice for those who cannot find it themselves under a tense political system. The repercussions of his quest are never as simple as they seem, neither is this summary, and Salahar's own life and happiness hang in the balance. That was a mouthful for some reason. The Winter Goddess. I kind of like this cover. The more I look at it, I like it. Marie says it's overcast today and feels like rain. We could use it yet again. Oh, I bet. Yeah. It's supposed to get up to low 60s today. So are we. Mary, love that. Perfect trilogy. 4 books. Oops, one more. The Winter Goddess by Megan Bernard. Lots of blurbage on this one. Oh, no. Kaylee, goddess of war, was not born to be a blight on humanity, but she became one. She would say with scorn that it was her own fault. Mortals were selfish, thoughtless, and destructive, bringing harm to each other and the earth without cause or qualms. One day, Kaylee goes too far. Thousands die, lost to her brutal winter. In punishment, her mother, Danu, queen of the gods, strips the goddess of her powers and sends Kaylee to Earth. Oh yeah, experience what it's like, honey. To live and die as the mortals she so despises until she understands what it is to be one of them. Ah, so she's having Thor issues. Though determined to live in solitude, Kaylee finds that she cannot help but reach for the people she once held in such disdain. She loves and mourns in equal measure, and in opening herself to humanity, hears tales not meant for immortal ears, including a long-buried secret that will redefine what it means to be a god. End of row 1. The Witch Who Trades with Death by C.M. Alongi. A young witch forced to play concubine for her empirical captor finally breaks free to find a life of her own, but even those with the power to call death cannot outrun their past. All witches must serve the cruel and immortal Emperor Yamueto. But after 4 years of terror and abuse, Kana not only kills one of his favorite courtiers with her magic, but also discovers the secret of his power and immortality. He's been making deals with death, and now so is she. Armed with magic that she doesn't fully understand, Kana flees the empire and stumbles into a small mountain town filled with fierce warriors that ostracize her for being a witch, despite using her abilities to heal their sick and injured. There, her magic and courage are put to the test as she is forced to stop running and fight back against the emperor that wants her dead. Shouldn't that be who wants her dead? But every deal she makes with death takes another piece of her soul, and there's only so much Kana can give before she turns into the very monster she's trying to destroy. Chaos by Constance Fay, 3rd in the Uncharted Hearts series. He is a mind-controlled killing machine until her touch frees him. Engineer Karo, these names. Ogunyemi thinks she has everything in control. Sure, she has a dark secret in her past and aims so bad that she can't shoot the side of a spaceship. So she's a stormtrooper. Shoot the side of... She's not. I'm just joking. When she's right in front of it, but those are minor details in the life of a space mercenary. When Caro embarks on a solo mission infiltrating a prison planet that is run by the deadly Pierce family, she embraces the opportunity to prove she's a hero. It's there that Caro meets Leviathan, a super soldier with a chip in his head that turns him into a mindless killer. He's drop-dead gorgeous, with an emphasis on drop-dead, until she touches him and renders his chip inert. The danger begins when she lets him go. In the heart of enemy territory, where love is at stake, life is treacherous and time is short. Caro and Leviathan must figure out how to recover his agency, protect her crew from Pierce's sinister machinations, and stage a prison break before Leviathan is lost to her and himself forever. Enchantingly yours. I only have a day where I don't have appointments. Oh, nice. The first this week. Have errands, but I can choose when to do them. Oh, nice. Have a lingering, lovely morning before you have to do errands. Or get them all done and then have a lingering, lovely afternoon. This is by Dana Gricken, second in the Maidens of Fairhaven. Shy and anxious, Gemma Solace stays in her magical library in Fairhaven reading fantasy romance. But nightmares about her mother plague her. When Princess Esme encourages Gemma to live in the surface world, this is Gemma's chance to face her anxiety and finally find her mother who escaped as a traitor a year ago. What she doesn't anticipate is the handsome Ian Whitman, an enchanting bartender who makes her heart patter. After many a mishap, Gemma lands her dream job at a bookstore, and it seems as if her fairy tale is within reach. But a dangerous, magical stranger lurks around every corner, and those she once trusted betray her at every turn. How far is she willing to go to protect the man she loves and the city she calls home? And this was kind of exciting. Terry Brooks has a new Shannara book called Gallifile. Hang on, I need to say. Or a gulp. This is first in a new series. One of the most iconic structures in the Four Lands is Paranor, the fortress home of the Druid Order. Legend holds that it was erected by an elven leader known as Galifel Joss. But who was this Galifel, and how and why did he choose to establish this center of magic and learning? Within these pages, we meet the real Galifel, following him from a friendless teenage orphan stranded in the human world to a powerful adult and master mage studying under the infamous recluse Cogling. We hear of the forces that shaped him, those he loved, those he lost, those who aided him, and those who stood against him. Throughout it all, Galifile's goal is a noble one, to bring order to a chaotic world and to make life better for those trying to survive it. To this end, he commences building the citadel, which will one day be known as Paranor, with the aid of the King of the Silver River. But there is one other who seeks dominion over the Four Lands, and for far less virtuous ends. For this foe has been corrupted by an ancient evil, one that will not only reach out and touch Galifile's nearest and dearest, but also echo down through the 8 centuries, sowing the seeds for some of the darkest times the Four Lands will ever face. End of that row. Ugh. Stifts and Stones, 10th in the Dan Shamble Zombie PI series by Kevin J. Anderson. Dan Shamble, zombie PI. He's a stiff detective, and he's got stones. The cases don't solve themselves in the unnatural quarter, filled with ghosts, vampires, mummies, werewolves, and other mythical creatures. It takes an intrepid zombie detective to decipher mysteries, unravel conspiracies, track down cursed objects, and find time for a beer with his best human friend at the Goblin Tavern. He is back from the dead and back on the case in this new collection of 8 wacky adventures, etc., etc. No, I didn't realize it was not a continuous story. I don't usually do those. That one snuck in. Grimrold 2, The Big Bad Wolf by Michael Brent Collins. Seconded. Willow and Jake have done the impossible. By saving Hansel and Gretel from the witch in the woods, they brought the first happily ever after to Grimrold. But in the real world, their father is still missing, and the boundary between universes has grown even more fragile. Determined to reunite their fractured family, the twins return to Grimrold to find their dad, their great to the 10th power grandfather, and the perpetually befuddled, acorn-loving, naked mole rat, Chet. Do mole rats wear clothes? But Grimrold is a treacherous place, and soon Willow and Jake are captured by fairies who are less innocent and more dangerous than expected, and forced to make an impossible choice. Steal the golden claw of the Wolf King and return it to the Fairy Queen in exchange for information about their father, or refuse and become the fairies' eternal soulless slaves. But to steal the Wolf King's claw, Jake and Willow will have to undergo the Wolf Trials, a perilous series of tests and traps. See, I knew they were going to bring Hunger Games into it. And we're shocked. Will push the twins to their limits and beyond. It will take Willow's strength, Jake's intellect, and the love and friendship they share, and maybe a few treats from Red Riding Hood's magical basket to defeat the big bad wolf, find the next clue to their father's whereabouts, and perhaps even bring another happily ever after to Grimworld. Installment Immortality by Shannon McGuire. Oh, there's a name. Mary says, I don't think mole rats have fur, ugly little guys. Oh, ugh. I will trust you. I will not look this up. 14th in the encrypted series. After 4 generations of caring for the Price family, Mary Dunleavy has more than earned a break from the ongoing war from the Covenant of St. George. Instead, what she's getting is a new employer in the form of the Anima Mundi, Earth's living soul made manifest, and a new assignment to hunt down the Covenant agents on the East Coast and make them stop imprisoning America's ghosts. All in a day's work for a Phantom Nanny, even one who'd really rather be teaching her youngest charges how to read. One ghost can't take on the entire Covenant without backup, which is how she winds up on a road trip with the still mourning Elsie and the slowly collapsing Arthur, both of whom are reeling in their own way from the loss of their mother. New allies and new enemies await in Worcester, Massachusetts, where the path of the haunting leads. With the Anima Mundi demanding results and Mary's newfound freedom at stake, it's down to Mary to make sure that everyone gets out of this adventure alive. Smoke and Scar, First in the Shattered Crown, might be a duology, by Gretchen Powell Fox. Birthed in shadow, forged in fire, a splintered kingdom, an ancient grudge has kept humans and the magical races of Arcanus at odds for centuries. The Arcane Crucible, a legendary series of trials that occur every 25 years, offers a chance for peace. A haunted warrior. Illyria Lightbreaker, once a celebrated Fey war hero, is a shadow of her former self, drowning in grief after losing the man she loved to the previous crucible. Now, so that was 25 years ago. Now she must rise to stop his sister from falling to the same fate, a vengeful knight. Hardened by loss and fueled by hate, Cedric Thorne's lifelong goal to conquer the crucible on humanity's behalf is finally within reach. The only problem? Getting through the trials alive means working with Illyria, the very Fae he blames for his parents' death. An unwinnable challenge, with alliances fragile as spun glass and betrayal lurking at every turn, Illyria and Cedric must navigate deadly trials that test their strength, spirit, and magic, as well as their increasingly complex feelings for each other. That's what I say, Keo. End of that row. He shook his head like saying, "Abdi, abdi, abdi." Boop. Starship Identity by James David Victor, Protector Jack's Book 1. An epic sci-fi adventure. August Jax overcame odds that were thoroughly stacked against him to become an Earth Alliance protector. When he finds himself in the middle of a murder that just doesn't add up, he soon finds that things aren't as straightforward as they seem. Jax must revisit his past, recruit old allies, and uncover a conspiracy that he has unwittingly been part of since the beginning. Can he find the culprit and uncover a conspiracy that just might topple the entire Earth Alliance and create chaos for all of humanity? Well, I hope so. Yes? Question mark? Keo is awake early. He is not a morning dog. Subliminal by Alistair Miles. First to boldly go, last to bloody arrive. Callum McMahon commands the Earth's first starship. Risking it all on a centuries-long one-way trip, his daring crew have said goodbye to everyone and everything. They awake, ready to colonize a virgin world, except they've been beaten to it. This can happen when you sleep on the job and humanity is handed a hyperdrive. The would-be explorers encounter a society that is secure and content, yet set in its ways and less than bright. In charge is an artificial intelligence who cares for them as it sees fit. After all, it knows best, and it's entirely for their own good. Callum's crew could choose a peaceful life. They could just go find the nearest bar, but with no way back and something dead clearly wrong, do they have the right to interfere? And what will happen to them if they do? That has a bit of snark, and I kind of like it. Two more. Starheart by Lana B. Knight, first in this series. It says Game of Thrones meets Legend of Zelda. In the wake of a tragic accident that claimed her memory in her mother's life when she was just 14, Stella Arison is haunted by a past shrouded in secrecy. Her attempts to recall the events are met with debilitating headaches and a wall of silence from everyone around her, including her own father. 8 years later, as she steps into her role as heir, her world is shattered as a coup ravages its way through her home, propelling her into a flight. It's a flight for survival. When she's forced to flee into the world, Stella plunges into the underbelly of society, and in her determination to keep her friends safe, she must decide how far she's willing to go to secure the future of those she loves and reveal the dark secrets that have been buried in her kingdom and within her for far too long. And I forgot to click on it. We'll give that its moment. Green. Okay, one more to go. Speaking of green, The Sea of Green. I kind of like that cover. By Tristan Smith. Death, Duty, and the Fight to Escape Them Both. Alicia Winter, co-captain of the Ebonwind, has spent a lifetime ferrying prisoners to their deaths, never questioning the system. Her duty is simple, deliver the condemned and leave. But lately her captain has been faltering, his gaze drawn to the Sea of Green, his mind slipping further away with each passing voyage. Then they crash. Stranded alongside her crew and the prisoners they were meant to abandon, Alicia must navigate a world that has no way out. With trust shattered and desperation rising, opposing groups must unite to face the Sea of Green and confront everything that lurks within. Because when the Ebonwind crashed, something stirred in the dark, now slipping through the shadows. Its hunt begins. No one escapes the Sea of Green, but will they be the first? And that is what we have for today. Mary says, how is Keo? He's doing good. He is just not a morning person. PK's favorite color. I like that color as well. Yes, green. Good morning, Stormy. Well, did I have the wrong banner up this morning? Oh well. Alrighty, so yes, I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I just provide the space for you to do whatever it is that is self-care for you, whether it's reading, closing your eyes, working on something creative, whatever it is for you. Come on and hang out. Tomorrow is Friday, thank God, and it's Freeform Friday, so we'll probably be looking at the rest of the cozy mysteries that we didn't get to this week. And Storm, just have a great day. Back at you, baby. All righty. Hope you guys have a good Thursday, reading good books and so forth. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.